Welcome to the part 2 of this video on data validation and restriction. Now, in this video, we're going to look at how to restrict values in a cell, as well as how to use custom data validation. Now, the information we have here are about basic salary, transport allowance, children allowance, as well as medical allowance. Now, we're told that the basic salary should be a maximum of 40,000, which means there is no staff that should earn more than 40,000. So we're going to validate these cells such that if you enter a value that's above 40,000, you'll be prompted that you've entered the wrong value. So we place our cursor under the first staff, which is John, and click on our data tab. From data tab, we move to data tools group and select data validation icon. Now, under setting, we see any value, but this time we're going to impute a number there, and the number should be less or equal to 40,000. So we select less than or equal to, and it's asking us for a maximum. We type 40,000 and take OK. Now we have validated only the cell under John, so we can copy that across to the whole staff there and take this. Now what we've done is any value above 40,000 will not be accommodated. So if we put in a value like 45,000, 1, 2, 3, you see it's not going to allow that value. It's going to tell us the value you entered does not match the data validation requirement. And since I've copied it down to the other cells, the same thing, if I enter a value in any other cell that's above 40,000, it's not going to take that. But if I enter a value below 40,000 or 40,000, that value will be accepted. So let me take a value like 35,000. Yeah, that is okay. Now the next one is transport allowance. We are told it should be between 10 to 15,000. So we go to data validation and validate that. It's going to be a number. And we're saying between 10. So the minimum is 10,000. Type 10,000. 1, 2, 3. And then the maximum is 15,000. I type 15. 1, 2, 3. So I have restricted that. Now any value I'm going to enter here should be between 10 and 15,000. So I copied this along all the stuff. So if I put in a figure less than 10,000, it's not going to take that. So I take 8,000. 1, 2, 3. It's not going to take that. If I put in a figure above 15,000, 18, 1, 2, 3, it's also not going to take that. Any figure that should be allowed there will be between 10 to 15,000. So let me take a figure like 12,000. Yeah, this is okay. Now the next one is children's allowance. We're told that the minimum anybody will earn here is 5,000. So I'm going to set that cell to take only values that are not less than 5,000. So I'm going to come here and say value should minimum, that means greater than or equal to. So I take 5,000 and I take OK. Fine. Now I've done that for this cell. I copy it across to the other stuff. Now I already have here minimum of 5,000. So if I put in a value like 4,500, for example, that is not going to be allowed because it's smaller. So the minimum value that should be there should be 5,000. Okay. Now the last one we're going to look here is medical allowance, and we are told that medical allowance should be a maximum of 12% of basic salary. Probably that will depend on the staff grade. Some will be having 10, 8, but the maximum any staff will get is 12% of basic salary. Now we are going to use the same data validation. Now when we get here, you will see the last thing there is called custom. So we're going to place in a formula there. Take custom, and it's asking us for a formula that we validate that. Now the formula we're going to have is that it should have a maximum of 12%, which we're going to say equal to this particular cell must be less than or equal to. That's what it means, maximum, less than or equal to 12%. We take 12% multiplied by the basic salary. So this is the formula they were saying, that whatever is going to be there should be less than or equal to 12% of the basic salary, and we take OK. Now let me copy that formula down and test what we've done. Okay. Now the maximum should be there, should be 12%. Let's take 12% of this, for example. So we're saying that the maximum amount here should be 4,200. So let's enter a value of say 6,000. Now it's not going to allow that because that is above 12% of the maximum. But if we enter 3,500, for example, now this is allowed. Now this is how you validate your data, because you try to restrict entries because of either error or fraudulent entries. Now let's look at our content, and I think we've covered basically all we've got to do in this part 2. We've done cell restrictions, values in cells, as well as the custom validation. Thank you very much for listening.